Dr. Greenberg Belloy.
Present.
Mr. Murphy.
Here.
Mr. Peschitti.
Here.
Mr. Rizzoli.
Here.
Mrs. Walker.
Here.
Mrs. Sohar.
Here.
6 present.
Meeting notice.
This meeting is being held in conformance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice has been given to the newspaper, and notice of the meeting has been posted in public places. Next open public meeting of the council will be held on Monday, January 13th, 2020, at 7:30 p.m. First order of business, I have 3 names for Ward 2 council seat, and after I have I give out the 3 names, if I could get a motion.
I think, just if I could, just as to fill the seat that was vacated by Councilwoman Sohar, who resigned her seat since she was elected as an at-large candidate, and that, obviously, that resignation became effective before today. And now, by statute, there's a vacancy under the state law. The Republican Party chair is required to present 3 names to the council, and then from those 3 names, a member will be selected to temporarily fill the vacancy of Councilwoman Sohar. And this seat, the person who fills it, if they choose, or for that particular seat, will have to run in November to finish the unexpired term, which doesn't come until December 31st, 2021. So I think it would be appropriate to announce the 3 names and ask for nominations.
Okay. Susan Blumig, Roseanne Andrews, and Eric DePalma. Now take a motion, please.
Yes, for
I
nomination.
make a motion to nominate Eric DePalma.
Second.
Call for any other nominations.
Any other nominations?
Close nominations.
Okay, I close the nominations.
Roll call.
Dr. Greenberg Belloy.
Yes.
Mr. Murphy.
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli.
Yes.
Mrs. Walker.
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar.
Yes.
6 yes.
Congratulations.
Heck, if you want to come up, I'll say you in.
One of these kids and
Once you go
one-
down, these
Oh,
are
all right,
Down
you know
there
what?
would be nice pictures.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to head down?
Sure.
All right.
left hand down, right hand up.
Where's Mom?
She doesn't want to go. Mom was saying that. Mom was saying that. Mom was saying that.
I didn't know. Oh.
Come on.
I, Eric Palmer,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution of the United States
to support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will give true faith and
to
allegiance
the same and to the governments
to the same to the governments
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of the office
all the duties of the office
of Councilman Ward 2,
of Councilman Ward 2
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Still have him sign it. Then you can take a seat. Don't have him sign the oath. Have him sign the oath. You sign it. Have him sign.
Francisco signed it by accident.
Oh, jeez. Just
Yeah, I'm going to cross them off. Eric, just sign this. I got it. And there's one right underneath, do the same thing. Thank you. That's right. Oh, cross it off.
Yeah, when you did the roll call, you do it in the room.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because I knew they were out. Yeah.
Right, should just note,
All right, so you want me to
do a roll call,
do a roll call? Okay. All right,
or just note for the record, just note for the record.
okay. All right, I'm just going to note for the record, Mrs. Brown is absent, and Mr. Merwin is absent. And now I'm going to take a nomination for council president.
I nominate Mary Sohar for council president.
Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Call for any other nominations?
Any other nomination?
Hearing none, close the nomination.
Okay. Hearing none, I'll close the nomination.
Roll call.
Okay. Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Peschitti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mrs. Sohar?
Yes.
6 yes, Mary. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Mary.
No, wait a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. De Palma. I left you out. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Mr. De Palma, thank you. 7 yes.
Swear Mary in?
Yeah, okay. Okay, Mary, let me get that there. Yeah. Where's my oath? Did you take my oath? Oh, okay. All right. Okay, okay, left hand. Okay, I,
I, Mary Sohar,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution of the United States
to support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same and to the governments
to the same and to the governments
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of the office
all the duties of the office
of Council President
of Council President
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now she needs one for ice.
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay, we good?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
Vice President now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, thank you, everyone. And now I will entertain a motion for Council Vice President, please.
I nominate Councilwoman Debbie Walker for vice president.
Any
Second.
other nominees? Mark would second it. And any other nominees? I will close the nominations. Roll call, please, Stella.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Peschitti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohar?
Yes.
7 yes.
Congratulations. You have to take your oath, okay? All right.
Want to hold it for her? Good. Okay. I, in your name.
I, Eleanor Walker,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution of the United States
to support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same and to the government
to the same and to the governments
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly perform
and justly
all
perform
the duties of the office
all the duties of the office
Council Vice President
of Council Vice President
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Here's your Bible.
Thank you. Miss Marion's orders.
Okay. Now. Oh. Do we have no presentations, correct?
No.
Okay. Okay, so the first order of business today will be council appointments. The first one is redevelopment agency, Class A council member, one seat, term expires 12/31/20.
I nominate Mark Rizzoli.
Do I have a second?
Second it.
Yeah.
Okay. Moved by Dr. Belli, seconded by Mr. Murphy. You have to announce.
Okay. Yes. Okay, so that was, oh, go ahead,
Mr. De
Stella.
Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Piscitty?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohar?
Yes.
7 yes.
Number 2, Utilities Authority, MUA, term expires 1/31/2020, seat to be taken 2/1/2020 for 5-year term. Term expires 1/31/25. Do I have a motion, a nominee?
Point of order. Is that for alternate or regular?
This is for a full seat,
What is it for?
a full seat,
It's a regular seat.
All right, that's it.
okay?
I nominate Frank Weber.
I second it.
Okay, so nominated by Mr. Murphy, seconded by Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Piscitty?
Abstain.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohar?
Yes.
6 yes, 1 abstention.
Number 3 is Utility Authority Alternate Number 2. Term expires 1/31/2020. Seat to be taken 2/1/2020 for a 5-year term, expires 1/31/25. Do I have a nomination?
I nominate Bruce Walker.
Okay, nominated by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mr. Rizzoli.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
And Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Piscitty?
Abstain.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Abstain?
President Sohar?
Yes.
5 yes, 2 abstentions.
Number 4 is Open Space Councilperson, 1-year term, expires 12/31/2020. Do I have a nomination?
I'd like to nominate Dr. Anita Greenberg Belli.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Dr. Greenberg was nominated by Mrs. Walker, second by Mr. Rizzoli.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Piscitty?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohar?
Yes.
7 yes.
Number 5 is Open Space Councilperson, 1-year term, expires 12/31/2020. Do I have a nomination?
Yes, I nominate Councilwoman Debbie Walker.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, so Dr. Greenberg Belli and Mr. Rizzoli nominated Debbie Walker.
Okay. Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Piscitty?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohar?
Yes.
7 yes.
Number 6 is Public Agency Compliance Officer, Himanshu Shah, 1 year, term expires 12/31/2020.
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Walker, second by Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Piscitty?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohar?
Yes.
7 yes.
Number 7 is Recreation Advisory Committee Councilperson, 1 year, term expires 12/31/2020. Do I have a nomination?
I'd like to nominate Councilman John Murphy.
I'll second it.
Okay, nominated by Mrs. Walker, second by Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
And Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Pescetti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Soha?
Yes.
7 yes.
Number 8 is Recreation Advisory Committee Councilperson, 1 year, term expires 12/31/2020. Do I have a nomination?
I'd like,
Nominate Mary Sohar.
second.
That was nomination by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mrs. Walker.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Pescetti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Soha?
Yes.
7 yes.
Number 9, Recreation Advisory Committee Councilperson, 1 year, term expires 12/31/2020. Do I have a nomination?
I nominate Debbie Walker.
I second it.
Okay. Nominated by Mr. Murphy, second by Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Pescetti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Soha?
Yes.
7 yes.
Okay, next is number 10, Recreation Advisory Committee, a 2-year term expiring 12/31/2021. Do I have a nomination?
Council President, I nominate Sam Ferraro.
I second it.
Okay. Mr. Rizzoli, second by Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Pescetti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Soha?
Yes.
7 yes.
Number 11 is Recreation Advisory Committee, 2-year term expires 12/31/2021. Do I have a nomination?
I'd like to nominate Luanne Raymond.
Second it.
Okay, nominated by Debbie Walker, seconded by Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Pescetti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Soha?
Yes.
7 yes.
Number 12 is Recreation Advisory Committee, 2-year term, expires 12/31/2021.
I nominate Craig Brown.
Second.
Nominated by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mrs. Walker.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Pescetti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Soha?
Yes.
7 yes.
Number 13, Recreation Advisory Committee, 2-year term, expires 12/31/2021.
I'd like to nominate John Metzger.
I'll second it. So it was Mrs. Walker and myself seconding.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Pescetti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Soha?
Yes.
7 yes.
Yes. Okay. At this point, the Recreation Board, that was the resumes we received. And
I have one more nomination. I'd like
yes,
to
go
make.
ahead, Mr. Murphy.
I'd like to nominate, he was currently serving, I think it just ended, Thomas Kaliakovo Jr.
Second.
Okay. Mr. Murphy and Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Okay. Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
And Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Merwin? Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Pescetti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Soha?
Yes.
7 yes.
Okay. So that would conclude the resumes that were received for the Recreation Board. So we will now wait and re-advertise, have people put in put in their resumes again, and we'll fill those seats when we have resumes, okay? So next will be the rent stabilization tenant, 3-year term expires 12/31/2022.
I move Teresa Vidal.
Second.
Teresa Vidal. It was Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mrs. Walker.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
And Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Pescetti? Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohar?
Yes.
7 yes.
Tax Assessment Officer Stella Ward, 1 year, term expires 12/31/2020.
Move it.
Second.
Okay, moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mrs. Walker.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
And Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Pescetti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohar?
Yes.
7 yes.
Tax Search Officer Dawn Schwaboda, 1 year term, expires 12/31/2020.
I'll move it.
Second.
Okay, moved by Mrs. Walker. Second by Dr.
Dr. Greenberg.
Yes, please.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
And Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Pescetti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohar?
Yes.
7 yes.
Zoning Board of Adjustment, 4-year term, expires 12/31/2023.
I move James Connors.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Walker, second by Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
And Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Pescetti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohar?
Yes.
7 yes.
Zoning Board of Adjustment, alternate number 1, 3-year term, expires 12/31/2022.
I nominate Daniel Sikowski.
Second.
Okay, Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mrs. Walker.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Pescetti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker? President Sohar?
Yes.
7 yes.
Planning Board, council member, 1-year term, expires 12/31/2020.
I nominate Eric De Palma.
Second.
Mrs. Greenberg Belli, Mrs. Walker.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
And Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Pescetti? Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohar?
Yes.
7 yes.
Municipal Housing Liaison, Dawn Borberly, 1-year term, expires 12/31/2020.
Move it.
Second.
Dr. Greenberg Belli, Mrs. Walker, please.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg? Yes. Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Pescetti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohar?
Yes.
7 yes.
Next will be mayor with council concurrence. Number 1 is resolution providing advice and consent to mayoral appointments of business administrator and director of departments established within the township of Old Bridge.
Thank you, Council President. You have the resolution. I will read the names. Business Administrator, Himanshu Shah. Director of Finance, Himanshu Shah. Director of Department of Law, Mark Roselli. Director of Parks, Recreation, Social Services, Matthew Mercurio. Director of Community Development and Township Engineer, Nicole Shapiro. Director of Public Works, Kyle Harris. Prosecutor, Lane Miller. And Public Defender, John Rehacek.
Move it.
Second.
Okay. Moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, and second by,
Just, if I can, there's a resolution that's included that deals just with the department heads, and it's, and the business administrator. And then there's a separate resolution for the prosecutor and the public defender that's on the consent agenda. So you can vote on those at this time, and then we'll just, then you don't have to include them when you do the consent agenda.
okay. All right, so,
Okay.
yep,
Mr. Attorney,
Yes?
yes.
can we choose one out if we don't want to vote for it?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so so if we have, you want to do them individually, if we,
Yeah, first I would do the resolution with respect to the business administrator and department heads.
correct, okay, so
Okay.
I'll need a motion for that.
I got it, Debbie, and
All right, now, anyone have anything to say before we vote? Okay.
okay?
All right.
Mr.
Okay, very good.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Piscitty?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohar?
Yes.
7 yes.
Now that we did that,
Now, you know what, then there's a resolution with respect to the appointment of the municipal prosecutor, which is Lane Miller. So you have a first and second, we'll take a roll call on that.
okay? Someone want to make a motion?
Make a motion?
Moved it.
Who was that?
They were all,
They were all
They will-
moved.
they-
Yeah,
We just got to take the votes.
Yeah, they can, we don't
Separately,
do separate,
right.
okay, right, we can do them separately, but not the motion. Okay.
Who moved it?
It's only one motion, so it
Oh, it's all one?
remains.
Okay,
Right.
it remains,
Only we're
okay.
doing individual people.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Piscitty?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohar?
Yes.
7 yes.
And the third vote is for public defender, which is John Rahicek.
So we have the motions, we just have to,
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Piscitty?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohar?
yes.
7 yes.
Okay, so that concludes. Next is the redevelopment agency, Class B. Term expires 12/31/2023, then goes back to a 5-year term.
Council President, at this time, I am not prepared to present any names. I would like to ask the clerk to re-advertise for additional resumes for the redevelopment authority, and I will have some information by our next council meeting.
Okay, thank you
you.
very much. All right, so we'll 5 of them we
Okay,
need.
thank you.
Okay. All right. Didn't even put in. Next is approval of minutes of previous meetings.
Okay, there is none.
Okay, there are no minutes, okay. Next is the bill listing. Mrs. Walker.
Bill list January 1st, 2020. Accounts payable, $479,519.47.
Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Okay, moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mr. Rizzoli.
Mr. De Palma?
Abstain.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Piscitty?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohar?
Yes.
6 yes, 1 abstention.
Payroll, December 20th, 2019, $991,845.59.
Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Okay, moved by Mr. Murphy, second by Mr. Rizzoli.
Mr. De Palma?
Abstain.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Piscitty?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohar?
Yes.
6 yes, 1 abstention.
Payroll overtime, December 20th, 2019, $162,800.65.
Do I have a motion?
Move it. Second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Rizzoli, second, Mr. Murphy. May we have a breakout, Mr. Shaw?
Don't have the detail because of the, but I can tell you that this is the final payroll of the 2019, and it includes as our contractual obligation to pay out the comp time accumulated throughout the year by the employee. So
Right.
that's why it's a higher number.
Okay, all right, thank you very much.
It's not on there. Okay. Mr. De Palma?
Abstain.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Piscitty?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohar?
Yes.
6 yes, 1 abstention.
That concludes the bill list.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you, Mrs. Walker. Public hearing and ordinance of second reading, we do not have any today. We will move on to preliminary public comments to council. subject to the following conditions and restrictions. During the preliminary public portion of the meeting, any person may address the Township Council on any subject matters for a maximum period of 5 minutes. Any such person desiring to speak during the preliminary public portion shall first sign the list maintained by the Township Clerk for such purpose. Comments during the preliminary public comment portion of the meeting shall not encompass second reading ordinances or any other matter for which comment or a public hearing is to occur at the meeting.
No one signed up this morning.
Okay, so then we will close the public comments. I will now go to council member comments. I'll start on my left, as I usually do. And would anyone on the left like to start? Mr. De Palma.
I just wanted to thank the rest of the council for my appointment. I just hope that I can fill the big shoes that, I'm on. I just hope that I could fill the big shoes that Mrs. Sohor has left behind. So I have a task ahead of me, and hopefully I can live up to her expectations and the town's expectations. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. Mr. Murphy?
Yes, first of all, I just want to wish everyone a Happy New Year. And I was very impressed at the size of the crowd that showed up, all the families and friends and everything, although nobody came for me. But I know, thank you. And I really think we're going to have a good year. I don't feel like arguing this year, and I'll just sit here most of the time. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Murphy.
Mary, save that, Mary, save that portion of the tape. Let's cut and save that portion of the tape, thanks.
Oh, yes. Okay, to my right, I see Mr. Pescetti.
Yeah, thank you. Happy New Year to everybody, and thank you for that, Councilman Murphy. I look forward to your non-comments. Anyway, no, he's a great guy. I like him. I just want to congratulate the mayor and the councilwomen. Hard-fought race, clean. They fought hard. And the people of the town have re-elected the people that need to be in office. This is a team I'm proud to be a part of, and we got a lot accomplished. I mean, I've only been on the council 2 years, but some really great progress. I also want to congratulate the department heads and business administrator, Himanshu Shah. Good job, and I look forward to the next year to keep us on the forward path. Really proud to be a resident of Old Bridge today. Thank you.
Anyone else on my right? Mr. Rizzoli?
Thank you, Council President. I just want to wish everybody a happy and healthy New Year. I just want to congratulate the mayor and our councilwomen on their re-election. Congratulations to Councilman De Palma. I look forward to working with you and what the new year is going to bring. And for the record, I'm Rizzoli. That's Roselli.
You can't tell every Italian by their eyes.
Mr. Shaw, with all these Italians up here, we're going to need an espresso machine behind the council. Thank you. But everybody have a great day. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes, I want to wish everyone a healthy, especially a healthy and happy New Year. And I want to thank everyone for coming out today to help us celebrate. It was really appreciated. And I want to thank our employees for all the hard work they do all year. Without them and their dedication, we wouldn't be making the successes that we have. And I want to thank the mayor for working 24/7. He's always there whenever you need him. Our business administrator, our attorneys, our co-counsel, everyone, thank you. And I just want everyone to have a very, very happy New Year.
Dr. Greenberg?
First of all, I'd like to welcome Eric De Palma on the council. I know we're going to have a very positive year, and I want to thank each and every council member that helps and works every day and hears the concerns of the residents and tries to address them one by one. And we can't do that unless we do have the support of the township employees, the heads of the departments, and everyone that really puts such an effort together. And as the mayor, he does work 24/7, our business administrator, and all of us together, we do realize when you do come together, you can get a lot done. And it's always to put a good foot forward. And for all the people that helped on this campaign, it didn't go unnoticed. And it is very hard, it's very grueling, it's a lot of anxiety throughout it, and we're so appreciative of it, and we're appreciative for all the residents, and we work for all the residents, and I wish everyone a peaceful, joyous, healthy, and happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll just close the council comments very briefly by first of all saying thank you for everyone for being here today and being here for me. And then to my co-counsel for having, elected me as president again. Thank you so much, and I promise you I will try my best to be the best president possible. So that being said, congratulations to Debbie, Vice President. I know she's going to do a wonderful job as well. To Eric, yes, congratulations, Eric, and thank you for that compliment. I do really feel a very closeness to my ward. I've served them for 10 years, and they're very special to me. So I will now, be serving at large, but I will always have a special place, in my heart for Ward 2. And I know you're going to do a very, very good job. Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you all again. As reiterate, the staff, the council, all of us together is what makes Old Bridge what it is. The volunteers, all the people in this town. It's a great town, but it's only because of all of you. So Happy New Year. Thank you. Next would be report of the clerk.
Just to wish everybody a happy and healthy new year, and to welcome our new councilman, Mr. De Palma. And that's it.
Okay, thank you very much, Stella. Report of the township attorney.
Nothing to report, just want to thank the mayor for the reappointment and council for your support in the mayor's appointment as me as township attorney. And Kenny and I look forward to working together with council for another 4 years. Thank you very much.
Next will be administrative report, Mr. Shaw.
Thank you, Council President. I think I'll have my long administrative report on January 13th, but the short report today is to appreciate the council confidence in all our department heads and their reappointments. I think we have one of the greatest team in the entire state of New Jersey. I think we have a best department head. They have Old Bridge at their heart, and they're dedicated. And I can assure you that I'll be dedicated and working with every one of you. I am available 24/7. Please make sure, if you have any question, please call me anytime, as you have done in the past. I'm going to turn it over to Mayor.
Thank you, Machu. Council, I just wanted to let you know that yesterday I had the honor, the chief and I swore in 3 new police officers. I will bring to the council meeting on the 13th before they head off to the academy. So we're moving in the right direction already. 3 top-notch recruits, so I look forward to introducing them to you on the 13th. Thank you, and everyone, happy New Year. Thank you.
That concludes your administrative report? Okay, can I take a motion to accept it?
Make a motion.
Okay. Mr. Murphy and...
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
And Dr. Greenberg? Yes. Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Biscotti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohar?
Yes.
7 yes.
Next will be our consent agenda. I would like to get a motion and a second, then I will bring it up if anyone in the public wishes to speak on any item, bring it back to council for separation.
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Walker, second by Dr. Greenberg Billy. Is there anyone out in the public who wishes to be heard on any of the consent agenda items? Seeing no hands, I will close the public portion and now ask council, does anyone on the council have a separation? Seeing no hands, we will just vote.
Okay. Mr. De Palma?
Abstain.
And Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Biscotti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohar?
Yes.
6 yes, 1 abstention.
Next is ordinances for first reading, FR1, Easement Extinguishment Manzo Old Bridge Properties, LLC, Block 5001, lots 13.16 and 13.17, Old Bridge, New Jersey, application number 30-18P.
I'll just mention, this was actually discussed last year. It had to do with a former applicant that had an approval that was subsequently changed on numerous occasions as a result of those amendments to the approval that was originally received by the applicant. The applicant was Manzo Old Bridge Properties LLC. Certain easements that were required as part of the first approval were no longer required, and the planning board had asked the applicant after its last approval, which is July 10th, 2018, to have those original easements removed. Because the plans were filed and of record, it necessitates the council to adopt the ordinance, which will, once it's approved, get filed so that it's clear that the easements that appeared on the original approval are no longer of record and are no longer required. And so that's what this ordinance does.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Rizzoli, second by Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Mr. De Palma?
Abstain.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Biscetti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohar?
Yes.
6 yes, 1 abstention.
Next is FR2, an ordinance fixing the salaries of certain officers and employees of the Township of Old Bridge for calendar years 2020 and 2021. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Moved by Mrs. Walker, yes, second by Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Mr. De Palma?
Abstain.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Biscetti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohar?
Yes.
6 yes, 1 abstention.
Okay, next would be Councilmember Comments. Anyone on my left have a comment?
Has the calendar been made up for 2020 yet?
Yes, it has.
John,
Yeah.
can you put your mic on so we can hear you?
Has the calendar been made up for 2020?
Yes, it has.
It's
I can
online?
get you a copy, yeah.
Is it online, though,
Should-
too?
I thought it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
But if
thank you.
not, it will be.
Okay. All right, anyone else on my right? Mr. Pescitti?
Yeah, I just wanted to let the public know, the reason why I abstained on the MUA is because my son, who works at the MUA, he works there and he lives in my home. Actually, he's moving out next year, so, yeah, according to the attorney, to avoid a conflict, potential conflict, I needed to abstain, so I did so. That was it. Thank you very much.
Okay, right.
I just want to say every individual's council's name, because you're each very important to me, starting with Eric De Palma, John Murphy, Tony Biscetti, Mark Rizzoli, Debbie Walker, and Mary Sohar, that you give so much of yourself that people don't realize all the time, and you work very hard, and I just want to say thank you, and I look forward to working with you this year. Good health and happiness to all.
Okay, anyone else? All right, then I will ask, is there anyone in the public that would like to speak? Seeing no hands, I will close the public portion and now ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Mr. Biscetti, Mr. Rizzoli.
Mr. De Palma?
Yes.
Dr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Biscetti?
Yes.
Mr. Rizzoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
President Sohar?
Yes, and Happy New Year to everyone.